Okay, recovery is the same for victims of post-traumatic stress injury. The same tools and methods are used. I won't go into detail here, but there's things like cognitive behavioural therapy seems to work really well. This is if you can't fix yourself through talking with other people and having a good friend to talk to. That will usually get you through it. But some people find that hard. But there are therapies that are used for post-traumatic stress injury on people who have witnessed traumatic events, do work also on people who have psychopathic targeting. Same tools and methods used with victims of war or social disasters. The mind and body of the target are in shock. That is until you eventually make sense of what happened. A psychopath has passed through your life. From this realization, you then begin to process your emotions. I just want to show you this chart here for a second. Imagine that this is the person who's been targeted by the psychopath, okay? And now the party's over, the dream has died, and they're in a state of shock, post-traumatic stress injury, okay? There's three options open to them. One is to continue on until eventually all the pain burns into apathy and there's no long-term effects and they get back to a kind of normalcy. But it takes a very, very long time. The other side is that they can try to make sense of the experience through understanding what was done to them. And then from this, if they process the experience correctly, they could have a phenomenal evolution of their own personal life. Because this is not only the most difficult experience anyone could ever have in terms of relationships and interrelationships with people, it can also be a phenomenal chance to change your life and put yourself in a new direction. And then there's the other side, which unfortunately is growing, where people go down negative into the abyss. Now I want to explain this part, the negative part, and why it's so dangerous. There is literally a cut-off point. If you haven't made your decision before this cut-off point, which is about a year after the experience has happened, you're almost certainly stuck on either one of these three lines you take for the rest of your life. Because you have not, in one case, allowed the chemistry in your brain to settle back. It takes about 2 years for the brain chemicals in your body to settle down to where they used to be before you encounter this person. It's the same thing as when you experience the death of a partner or the death of a family member. It takes about or a very bad divorce. It takes about 2 years for the chemicals to rebalance. But in the first year is crucial. At first, everybody goes into the negative dive at first, okay? Some manage to pull out quickly and get to the apathy and normality stage and get their lives back together again. It takes a long time. Others can do it very quickly. Others take longer. But they have to get out before this. Some can get out from here and after normality understand this the actual process of what was done to them, and they can swing back into understanding and go on to make sense of the experience. You'll find a lot of artists are very good at this, songwriters. They'll actually find this is good material for creativity. How many songs are written about broken hearts? How many paintings and books are written about broken hearts? So it's a very good creative evolutionary process here, okay? So you can actually build from that. These are the lucky ones, okay? Most go on this way and it takes a good long while to get back to normal. Here is where the danger happens. The people who go on the negative spiral, once they pass the first year and they're still filled with incredible hatred and negative, what's happened is their brain chemistry is not coming back to normal. They may have a good day, but they always come back to this line. They may go back a bit further on the downward trend. They may try to have a good day back again, they may meet somebody, and then it'll crash down again. Because they haven't resolved it soon enough. They're on a downward trajectory. Some, with a lot of help, might get back up to here. Some. Unfortunately, and I'm seeing this more and more, revenge is what brings you down. You will not get revenge. You will not get revenge on a psychopath because they do not care. They do not care. You can do you can marry someone to get back at them. Say, I haven't got a new husband. Won't happen. They won't even blink an eyelid. You will not care. They don't care about your feelings. And it's this failure to attain revenge happens on this downward trajectory. They enter into a horrific abyss where they literally go into a state of being a nervous wreck. And then what happens then? They become their own psychopath. Because now they're destroying their own life by not getting on with it. Because they're caught up in an endless spiral of hate, negativity, and revenge, of which there's no way out. And then when these people come back this way, they become a kind of a proto-psychopath. And everything they do from that point on is they call everybody else psychopaths. They lose their sense of rationality and judgment. If someone doesn't do something for them that they wanted, you're a psychopath. If somebody doesn't, anything, the smallest little offence, everyone is a psychopath. And these people, they're quite frankly doomed. And this is the greatest tragedy of all, because the psychopath has actually turned another human being into literally a psychopathic zombie who will never get out of their life. This is why people have to resolve the issue before the first year in terms of burning out that anger. Now, we're told that rage is a bad thing. No, rage is a good thing when you need it. Because what rage is doing is it's helping you to get the chemical balance back in your brain, to get you back to normal. So there's no problem punching bags with here. There's no problem, screaming and go through the room and screaming and shouting just to get it out. And there's no problem with hating the person, the psychopath that did it to you. Once you solve it in the first year, okay, or you at least get the worst of it out, then you have a chance for returning to normality, and if you process it well, to a fantastic new life of evolution. How many people do you hear who get cancer and then they say it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I got over all my ego and I got over all my fears and phobia and I started creating? Well, victims of psychopaths could do the same thing. But this is a horror story when they go into the abyss, because I can't do anything for these people. They can't do anything for themselves. And I'm not saying we should discard them or anything. I hope somebody someday will come up with some kind of methods to help these people get back to normal. But this is an unfortunate side effect of this information that's growing, because these people have found the term psychopath as a very convenient term. You're a psychopath, I don't like you, you're a psychopath. So they never have to look in the mirror and understand that they're ultimately, at some point here, the psychopath was no longer involved and they became the engineer of their own misery. Very sad.